Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Nod your heads if you can. Outstanding. Welcome, Aspen Elementary School families. For our new families, I wanted you to be able to put a face to a name and welcome you to our fabulous community. And I thought it was important that you hear from me directly and be able to see me. To our returning families, welcome back. I cannot adequately express how much I miss you and your children, and how much everyone at Aspen Elementary School misses you. When we were shut down in March, it became clear to me quickly the enormous burden that had been placed on our community. As a teacher community, we scrambled to develop online programming that was engaging for your children. Parents struggled to find a balance between parenting, teaching, while also trying to earn a living. I consider myself fortunate to have a daily window into that life, while our assistant principal, Sarah Lowe, juggled the demands of parenting, teaching, and being a building leader during a pandemic. I couldn't be prouder of our faculty while also attending to their own families and loved ones. As a group, we have very high expectations for ourselves. We're determined and focused on building a better online presence for you and for your children. So let's move to the here and now. Since June, Sarah and I have designed a dozen plans abundantly clear that we cannot have 615 people on this campus safely at one time. It's not an option. The most recent information I have for you is that we will be prepared for face-to-face learning on September. The most recent plan has cohort A meeting on Mondays and Tuesdays. This plan will have approximately 10 students per class, which will allow for social distancing. All students and faculty members will be required to wear masks. And there will be mask breaks optimally outside during the day, utilizing social distancing. Meaning that students will not be mixed with other classes, and the number of adults will be limited on who can teach in each classroom. We're giving serious consideration to using our entire professional staff as co-teaching partners with our gen ed teachers. There are going to be things that have become the very fabric of who we are that we simply aren't going to be able to do this year, the year of the pandemic. So back to social distancing. We learned quickly that we needed to spread out across the campus. Our kindergarten through second graders will be here at the elementary school, while our third graders will be learning at the middle school, and our fourth graders will be in the high school. Both the middle are starting the year online only. This presents more options for social distancing. For those of you familiar with the layout of the elementary school, we'll have approximately 30 students in each core. Cores constitute about 5 classrooms. During normal times, we have upwards of 100 kids. So again, we're going to be teaching in cohorts A and B. 50% of the students will be on campus and Fridays. We are also developing of all of our students on campus on each day of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Because nobody knows what the future has in store for us. And literally, the last thing that we want to do is to welcome new families and have that orientation look like the principal dropping off a Chromebook in the trunk of their car during a flare-up. Relationships are the essence of teaching. So we hope that during that time leading up to the start of school, our teachers and kids will be able to connect and get to know one another in very small cohorts throughout the day. We'll also be able to give out any type of technology needs that our families need, and teachers will be able to teach not only our students, but also our parents on online expectations. We are super fortunate to live in a beautiful place where we can leverage the beautiful outdoors. We have an outdoor teaching task force that has been identifying spaces that we can use around the campus for teaching and learning. We are working with area law enforcement to make sure the campus is closed and secured to all. That means bikes, walkers, and hikers. We also have a task force to improve our online experience, to be more aligned and to have a consistent experience across the grade levels. I've been working with Aspen Elementary School teaching staff in relation to those who have concerns that needed to be addressed regarding their own personal safety or their safety of their family members. So we sent out a survey last week that I hope that you can revisit, where we have, so we'll have a really good idea of the number of families who are committed to online learning, at least through the first quarter of this year. I want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded and we're going to put it out on our website. We have had some questions come in. Earlier in the day, I sent some communication with the Google form to collect all of your, Ms. Lowe and I and the faculty will go through with a fine-tooth comb. But it's very, very important to hear from you and what's working and what isn't working. One of the major logistical challenges that is being faced is that of transportation. How can we safely get kids on campus? The bus experience is safe, and we're working very hard on firming up and developing our cohorts. I know that is a huge importance to you. As soon as we have all of our cohorts, A's and B's defined, you can expect to hear from me immediately, and I will let you know how that will work. Another huge issue is childcare. We've been working with local agencies, both partnering up with organizations within the district and outside the district to find a way to safely take care of your children when you're at work and unable to do so. Again, this is another large challenge, but it's something that's being worked on, and I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. There was a lot of discussion and a lot of concern, rightly so, regarding the heating and cooling system here in the elementary school. We were operating for quite a while during with the assumption that the system was not functional, when in fact it was. It had been turned off because we have heating issues. And so that was why they had turned it off. So I'm coming to you from a second floor room in the elementary school, and I can share with you that that motor went on yesterday, and I had the biggest smile on my face you've probably ever seen. So that is really good news. Good news for us, because otherwise we were looking at, perhaps putting all of our students and all of our faculty in different buildings. Now we can still utilize our building, and we're all really, really happy about that. But the system is functional, and it'll be fine and ready to go on the 8th. Many of you have asked about assessments. Nobody's more interested. Nobody wants to know more about how our students are doing than we do. But there's a lot to assessment with 5 through 10-year-olds. First thing we need to do is we need to gauge the social emotional wellness of our students and our faculty and our families. So one of the things you never do in elementary school is you never walk into a building and hand a 5-year-old a Chromebook and ask them to read for you, because it gives you bad data, and we never want our kids to be taking tests that produce data that we don't trust and doesn't inform our teaching. So we will be the early days of elementary school, and particularly this year, are built around team building, our systems, our processes, how we navigate the building, how we navigate the space. Now remember, we're gonna have 3rd grade students in the middle school. It's brand new to them. So all that space is different. How we use the restroom, how we social distance, where we eat our lunches, how we enter the building, how we exit the building. All of those pieces have been thought through in great detail, so that to keep everybody both self-contained in one location of the building. But so we're gonna practice working a lot on that. Our 4th graders are gonna be in high school way earlier than they had ever planned to be. And it's some great space up there, but it's the same idea, is that we have designated explicit entry points, direct paths to the classrooms, and a way to safely get kids in and out of that building. The rooms are very larger than we're used to down here at the elementary school. Couple that with 10 children and not 20 or 23. Add in that model a co-teacher who is there to both flex and provide support and relief for the gen ed teachers. so that they can take care of and attend to their things that they need to take care of in the day. So we're pretty excited about that, but that's a steep learning curve. You know, what's been lost in this too is that, you know, we're used to having 100 new little faces walking into our building every fall. And I'm hopeful this year is no different, but there's a lot that goes into getting children, kindergartners, up and running in kindergarten. Some of our children have no preschool experience, some do. Some of them have just turned 5, some of them are practically 6, some of them are readers, some of them are not. And so we spend a lot of time kind of all hands on deck with our kindergarten team, providing our kindergarten teachers support for our newest children. And it's been my experience that, you know, I make no judgments and no expectations for at least 2 weeks. Like, we don't know. It takes a while for everybody to get settled in. And that goes for parents too. We've had a lot of success and a lot of fun with our kindergarten kickoff program that typically happened in May. And so we've kind of had to turn that to an online experience, but we're really excited about welcoming those new students in too. In regard to the schedule for the in-person learning for Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, that is still being worked out. But tentatively, it's looking like it will be a full day, 8 a.m. to 3:15. But we're going to have to build in a little bit more time in the front of the day for transportation, as well as at the end of the day. We, of course, are very, very concerned about the regression that has happened with our students. I mean, everybody is across the country. It's a major concern. Online learning was very interesting. You saw some children who you never thought would flourish, while others really struggled. And it was very interesting as a principal to watch and to see, you know, the excitement and that went into the online platform that our teachers brilliantly put together on very, very, very short notice, and made adaptations and adjustments on the fly to make it a better experience for your kids. We learned early that how much the children missed not only their teachers and how much their teachers missed their children, but how much the kids missed each other. And so it was really great and to be able to jump into a few of those online classes and see some of the most creative teaching and learning under some of the toughest conditions that I have ever seen. So we are really, really focused on, again, making sure that we've got a better online experience. Because one of the things that happened too, and in full transparency and total honesty too, is everybody hit the wall. It didn't all happen at once, but it felt like it with our children and our parents. Seemed like after about 4 weeks, the exhilaration and the excitement of it had definitely turned the other way. So we're looking to provide a better online experience, as I've mentioned. We need to really, really, really be focused on the social emotional wellness of our kids. Because as most of you know, if you don't have the ability to regulate, and if you cannot be fully present, then you're never really going to be able to fully actualize yourself as a learner. And, you know, we don't know the impacts of collective trauma on this community, on our families, and on our kids. So we're going to have a very, very careful eye on that. And we are so grateful to have our school counselor, Amy Showers, and all the teachers who create great social emotional lessons. For those of you who don't know, we have two curricula that we work with here at the elementary school in terms of social emotional learning. One of them is called Second Step. The Second Step is a research-based program that teaches kids the skills on how to navigate social situations and difficulties they may have in their lives. There's also a very strong and well-taught anti-bullying component that is taught by Miss Sarah Lowe that really resonates with the kids. We've got that piece going while concurrently running a curriculum called Mind Up. And Mind Up came to us from the Goldie Hawn Foundation. And it's a series of lessons that teach kids how to self-regulate and how to work through problems and become their own problem solvers. And so we feel real good about those two offerings and helping kids develop the skills they need for this new world that we have found ourselves. Communication is key. We want to keep you as informed as we possibly can with the information that we have right now. I'm coming to you on August 13th, and I've shared with you a tentative plan to begin both orientation and face-to-face learning. But we will do our very, very best to keep you up to date, particularly in the area of when cohorts are defined and with any changes that are happening here at the elementary school. This, of course, requires a lot of flexibility. It requires a lot of flexibility from our teaching staff. It requires a lot of flexibility for our kids. And it requires a lot of flexibility for you, the parents, and we know that and we get it. So we don't make any decision lightly, and every decision we make, we try to make for the betterment of all the kids and making sure that we've got the safety of our faculty members covered and the safety of our kids at all times. There are other things related to assessment. I mentioned that we need to first gauge the social emotional status of our kids, get kids comfortable, get them in classroom communities, get them back in school and get them back in school mode. But as soon as it is appropriate, we're gonna be doing Dibbles assessment for reading. We're gonna be doing STAR math grades 1 through 4 and STAR reading grades 2, 3, and 4. And that will tell us very, very, very important information about regression and about how our kids have done since the day they walked out of here on March 11th, which was a really long time ago. Again, with this invitation was a Google form that was submitted. Please send in your questions and your comments. They mean everything to us. We're going to develop a frequently asked questions page to get on our website. So you'll quickly be able to navigate that with questions. We have additional testing that we need to finish. We were unable to complete our COGAT testing for our gifted and talented students. That piece will take place at the earliest possibility. I spoke with Julie Zatz today about that and a plan to make sure our kids are tested. We also have to keep an eye on our entire range and of student population, right? So we've got special ed evaluations that need to be completed. We've got all sorts of programming that we need to get with our culturally and linguistically diverse children. Our MTSS program continues to roll on, and making sure that we've got the reading and math supports for your kids as have been identified, and helping them work towards getting back into grade one, tier one level peers, and or giving whatever services to them that they need. It's very, very important, and we're really mindful of that. Okay, any more questions? Let's see. If you just jumped on, I want to just kind of remind everybody, probably for the most salient reasons that many of you came on. Again, the plan is 50% of the kids on campus at any given time. Cohorts of A and B. Cohorts A meet Monday, Tuesday. All students learn online on Wednesdays, and cohort B meet on Thursdays and Fridays. We'll have approximately 10 students per class. Staff members and students will all be required to wear masks. We're hoping to have a co-teaching model in place to support our gen ed teachers. We're going to utilize the outdoors as much as we possibly can. We're very, very fortunate to have pretty great weather here through October. Having said that, this will be like the year of the monsoon or something, but we'll have tents and outdoor learning centers. And we also have the flexibility to use some of the spaces both in the middle and high school for when we need to flex out of our classrooms. We're working very, very hard to make sure that we have all siblings in the same cohorts, and that both A and B cohorts have the same teacher within that. So we're pretty excited to get going and to have to see all of you again, and to get started with online learning and support you and your families with, in-person learning, and support your families with a better online experience. And then we'll have to see what we're doing in terms of what are the health conditions in our community. We've got excellent support and guidance both from the county, our district offices all over this in terms of safety, and can provide all the necessary leadership that we need should conditions worsen. Now, conditions may get better too, and that would be absolutely terrific, right? So those next steps are going to be worked on by a task force in terms of what it would look like to reopen the other schools. But our thinking is that if we have good success and very little to low infections, that we would look for the first opportunity we could to get the elementary kids back on campus and begin to open up opportunities for our K-12 students. I guess in closing, I just want to say you guys are amazing. I don't know what we'd do without you. The number of kind notes and messages that Sarah and I have received over the summer and dating way back until April have energized us and keep us going. It's so great. We have the greatest community in the world, and I know that whatever support and help you can give us, you will give that to us, because this is really something that is very, very important, the success of this to all of us, right? Not just the Aspen School District, but our entire parent community and our business community. These are all These are all interlocked. So we're going to continue to monitor things. We're going to continue to work it over here and finalize and fine tune our plans. And we look forward to seeing all of you back at school, probably for the orientation leading up to the big start on September 8th. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Please continue to send questions. Please continue to send your comments into the Google form that was embedded in this email. You guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for everything.